You know, I've never understood the appeal of escape rooms. You are literally volunteering and or paying someone to put you in a room and frustrate you. And in this case, people are volunteering to be killed off. Escape room. Hey y'all, it's your twisted girl next door here, and today I am doing a review of the new movie Escape Room. 6 strangers travel to a mysterious building to experience the escape room, a game where players compete to solve a series of puzzles to win $1 million. What starts out as seemingly innocent fun soon turns into a living nightmare. Okay, so overall, I thought Escape Room was very smart. You know, I tend to like horror that subverts tropes, that does things that you don't really expect, and I really think this movie pretty much excelled at doing that, and it really keeps you on your toes as you watch it. Do I think it's really scary? I'll get into that, but I definitely liked that it was a smart horror film. Also, I know that some people have been comparing it to Saw, another horror series where people have to complete tasks in order to escape and things of that nature. And I want to get into why I don't think it's like Saw and why I think people should probably let this movie stand on its own. So stick around for that. Characters. I thought one of the things that I wasn't going to like, and I think this was going to make or break the film, was if you like the characters, right? Because this is a movie where the premise is these strangers are stuck in these rooms together, and they have to work together to be able to get out of the rooms and save their lives. Now, the issue with that is you are going to be very dependent on the interplay between these characters. So if you don't like a lot of these characters, and I don't mean like think that they're good people, but just don't really care for them being present on screen, then that's going to be a problem. So much hinges on the acting and the interplay between the characters. What this movie did in a very good way was make it so it worked. The escape rooms. Oh my gosh. I don't know. While I was watching it, I was thinking someone really sat down and really did. I felt like they really did the research and the thought process of how this would work with each room. Every single escape room was awesome. I just think that you're going to love the rooms. If you're someone who you kind of like puzzles, or even if you don't really like puzzles, just the idea of the way these rooms are set up is going to draw you in to the point where you're going to be trying to figure it out while you're watching, which I think that's what they wanted the viewers to do. And they definitely achieved that, because in each room I was trying to figure it out, and it wasn't really easy to figure out, which was also a good thing. I think we're in an age right now where, especially if you watch a lot of these movies, sometimes you can already guess the outcome, and that can take away the thrill for many of us. But this movie threw me off a lot of the times, and I really appreciated it. Diversity. Oh my gosh, I was really happy that this was a very diverse cast. I think if you're going to have it so strangers come from all over the city or the country or whatnot, that you make it so that they reflect the world we live in. In this particular case, once again, I am not someone who's like for forced inclusion, like just randomly throw somebody in there who doesn't fit, but yay, you want to check off your mark of diversity. No, but I am for it when it makes sense and when it creates it so that the movie can be, appealing to a wider audience of people who want to see themselves represented on screen. And I think this movie did a very good job of that, where I was like, okay. The plot. I really enjoyed the way this story unfolded. And I think it's one of those things where you're not left so dissatisfied with why all of this is happening. And that's quality sometimes. Because sometimes we all know that certain movies, they just they want to get to the part of the horror, so the narrative and the plot is really, really thin. And in this sense, I didn't feel that way. I felt like explanations were given that were like, oh, yeah, this actually makes sense. And this is, whoa, yeah. So I appreciated that. This movie kept going. Yes, it kept going. That was my one con of it, where I thought there were like 3 solid endings this movie could have had towards the end, right? There was one moment where I was like, okay, this is the end. This would be a good spot to stop this movie. Good. Stop it right there. And it didn't. Then the next part comes. Okay, they're going further. Fine. All right. Let's see. We're getting some more something. Okay, stop right there. They don't stop right there. They keep going. And then the third ending, and it finally ends, and you're like, okay, but you could have ended like 20 minutes earlier, and I would have been just as satisfied. Certain lines of dialogue felt forced. You know, I liked the humor in it. There was some humor. It wasn't totally funny, though. There was stakes in this thing. But then there would be other moments when someone would crack a joke, and I'm like, there's no way in this situation at this very moment that you would crack that joke. It just seems tacked on because you think the audience needs to laugh right now. So sometimes some of the lines fall flat. No, this movie is not scary. It's not scary in the sense of you're gonna jump and things of that nature. It's intense. It's an intense movie. It's kind of a joyride. It's a horror thriller joyride. And so it's effective. There's no real obvious trigger warnings in this film. I don't really think so. I mean, drug use, maybe, if that makes you uncomfortable, that might be a thing for you. Yes, this film is Stab approved. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was smart. I liked the characters. I mean, just the way the story went, I wasn't expecting a good amount of that. So I love being surprised in films like this, and I like that it really seemed like they thought this out. Now, I know some people are comparing it to Saw because of the whole, if you don't make it out of here, you die. Don't compare it to Saw. Mainly because to me, it's a very different plot line. The characters are very different. Yes, it is one of those things where you get to know the strangers in the room and, they all have their backstories of why they're there and things of that nature. Yes, but, Saw wasn't the first series to do that either. So I don't think it deserves necessarily to get a direct comparison to it. If anything, this use of escape rooms as a movie, although it's probably not the first time someone's done that either, I think it does it in a very smart way enough that I think it's good enough to be on its own merit as a film. I did not get necessarily Saw vibes until the very end. Then I got Saw vibes. Did you watch Escape Room? Would you go to an escape room? Let me know. Comment down below. Let me know your thoughts. And also, be sure to subscribe so that you are the first to know when I post my videos of all things horror and dark fantasy. Thanks for watching. Let's get creepy together.